Greetings everyone, this is Dose. Right now we're gonna talk about one of the most expensive speakers that you can buy right now. Welcome everyone, if you're new, please subscribe. This speakers like ATC and some other ones I'm gonna show right now are mostly one of those expensive speakers that you can purchase, that you can actually lower down and make it less than 3,000 bucks. But that's what I'm gonna talk about right now in this series. This is the second part of this three-piece series that I'm gonna talk about different speakers. And what we see here right now is the ATC SEM 25As. These ones are really nice looking speakers, even though they even sound even better. This ATC, as you can see, are mostly on the lower side, but for the pay for almost 9,000 bucks, they are quite expensive for the regular folk like you and I. And I think so. It have one of the bigger or the most sub bass on their type of a speaker. This type of speaker will go mostly from like the range of the most famous Barefoot. Those are quite more famous commercially wise. This one's a little more unique and in my opinion has better mechanics inside the speakers, that it gives a little bit more sharper sound and also a quite of a bassy type of sound. The other like Barefoots are really mostly like more commercially wise, that the meaning that they are really more focused on showing the actual singers and top producers they use and everything. Everybody knows how they do it and all that. This one's ATC. I have never seen anybody really talk mostly about it than mostly the musician himself or the person who actually know right with quality of sound. So as you can see right here, I did this actually on my phone because my computer has been ruined in the past couple weeks. So everything what I'm doing, you see over here, is just on my phone, on my iPhone to be exactly. And you can see right here that it has a premium 3-way stereo studio monitor, extremely accurate for playback recording, and the speakers are engaged on such a way that you'll be able to listen to ear, and it weighs around 480 something pounds each, I believe, and it gives you a little way more a spectrum towards the music and the range for mostly recording of sound. Also with the mixers that they'll be able to use it, like it says right here, the 47 to 22 kilohertz and a max SPL of 109. I mean, it's not super pick up there, but it's one of the best speakers that you can get. But I can actually tell you that you can get something better than this after this clip that is gonna be playing for how they make the speaker and everything, how they design it. So that's gonna be the video right now, so let's see it.
Hi, it's Brad from Trans Audio Group. I'm here with ATC today, and we're talking about near field today, active speakers. An active is an important designation. It doesn't mean powered. What it means is where you actually have an active crossover before the amplifiers inside the speaker. So in other words, the signal comes into the speaker, goes to the crossover, then to the amplifiers. So you can build separate amps for each driver, and you can match the amp specifically to the driver. So this has a major difference in the way the speaker behaves when you go active, because although a lot of people don't talk about it, the main thing about that is that you can adjust phase. I mean, that's not something that you can really do with a passive speaker. When you have a crossover after the amplifier, you can't adjust that crossover. When you have an active system, you can adjust phase output from the crossover itself, feeding the amplifiers to adjust phase of the drivers so that they all match up. So active also offers some other advantages in that we can custom design the amplifier to specifically match our drivers. So what is ATC's active range? Well, it starts really with the SEM20A. That's our active two-way, our only two-way. And the reason we don't make a lot of two-ways is because two-ways generally suffer from a common problem. They have poor mid-range. And of course, people that know ATC know one of the things we do really well is mid-range. I mean, the ATC mid-dome is a huge part of ATC's mystique. And how do you build a two-way that has really great mid-range? Well, the SCM20 Active has a special modification to the driver, to the woofer, that actually grafts a mid-dome cone to the front of the mid-driver woofer inside the SCM20. If you look at that woofer, you'll see there's a really big dome there. This essentially boosts the mid-range output of that driver and enables the SCM20, active and passive actually, to have probably the best mid-range of any two-way you're ever going to hear. So the SCM20A is a really good loudspeaker and totally linear from about 95 all the way through the upper range, using ATC's very best parts, using the same parts we use in our $20,000 monitors to build the amplifier. It's just scaled smaller. It's not cheaper, it's just smaller. We don't use Class D amplifiers anywhere. These are all handmade amplifiers, Class AB, using a MOSFET type output that are handmade inside the factory by ATC itself in England. And just like the drivers are handmade inside, we build all our own electronics, crossovers, everything. So it's a really great way to go about building a loudspeaker, because it's sort of the holistic approach, right? You can build a crossover, you can build the amplifiers, you can build the drivers, you build the box, you build everything, you can control everything. You can get rid of a lot of problems inside the speaker that otherwise you can't fix. Next speaker inside the active range for near fields is the SCM25A. This is the beginning of ATC's three-way. So here we see the introduction of the ATC mid-range, and this is the part that sort of has made ATC unique in the world. We're the only people that manufacture this type of mid-range dome. It's a 3-inch dome with a dual suspension. That's because when you get a dome this large, they have a tendency to rock on axis unless you have a dual suspension, which we have built in. And it has a huge motor on it, meaning that this thing has more power inside the motor. And the motor is the magnet and all the pieces of the sort of the metal behind the cone. Our ATC mid-range driver has probably more driver power in it than most people's woofers. So it has a tremendous ability to follow dynamic range, and it is a really good part. ATC always talks about your quality of sound is only as good as the parts. And that mid-range is a state-of-the-art part which was developed by Billy Woodman of ATC a long time ago and is still used in every model above the 25. 25 and above all have this 3-inch mid-dome inside of it. This is our most popular speaker in Pro. We sell this more than any other because it's really turned into a translation machine. People love the speaker because it translates so well, and because you can. I remember the first time I sold one to somebody well-known who came back to me and said, wow, for the first time I put away my Yamaha NS10s, and I can't believe it. I don't have to run out to the car anymore and check my mix. I just mix to the speaker, and it sounds great. We've had a lot of really high-quality people make their living on this speaker, and it's certainly something that anybody could use to develop their skill, become a better mixer, because you can hear details that are obscured on other loudspeakers. So the SCM25A is sort of our number one selling active three-way, our least expensive three-way. Model up from this is called the SCM45A. This is very similar to the 25A, except it adds another woofer, and this woofer adds a tremendous amount of advantage, seemingly more than just more bass. It increases headroom, it gives you more low-end support. Instead of rolling off at around 52 like the 25, it rolls off around 42, so it has quite a bit better bass. If somebody tries a 25 and says, oh, I need more bass, 45 is usually perfect for them. And it uses the ATC three-way super tweeter. And because of its ability to translate, and it's got all our best parts, got our ATC-made amplifiers inside, 3 of them, and is all built the same way as all the other speakers. 45 is becoming the speaker that a lot of the top guys in the industry are taking with them when they need portable. And it's not too large to move. It's bigger than 25, so you can ship it around. So the 45 is a really good investment for the guy that needs to do high quality precision work and needs something that he can move around. So there's the ATC near field lineup, the 20 active, the 25 active, and the 45 active. By the way, then either the 25 or 45 are available passive. So when you any one of these three models will get you started in a studio with a good ATC near field. So talk to your ATC dealer about which ATC is right for you. What's great about ATCs, you're not trying to choose which one sounds good, you're trying to choose which one fits your room size. So by talking to one of our dealers, you can get zeroed in on the right size for you and the right model for you. But give them a call and they'll help you figure out which one fits you. So thanks for watching.
Okay, this is the Atom Audio S3H Duo 7. This is the other one that I'm talking to you guys about than the ATC one before right now. And my opinion of this one is that with this type of money that you can get a spectacular well type of speaker right here for $3,500 and almost a fraction of 40% of the price of the ATC. You'll be able to get a German engineer type of speaker that is well rounded. It has a lot of bells and whistles. And the thing that has of this speaker than most other speakers in the type of price range, and not soar type of price range, very expensive one like that one before, is the tweeter that it has in the front, the ART tweeter. And this tweeter, what it does is expands all the way on towards your surroundings to able for you not to get too much fatigue in your hearing when you are mixing the sound or producing during the same time, or just hearing some nice tones or well rounded type of music. Then this is the speaker that you want to get into it. And if you have around 3,000 to 4,000, you should absolutely see this one, the Atom Audio, the H series. And I really think so this is a little bit more affordable than the other one, of course, from 10,000 to 3,000. I will absolutely get two of them, so it makes it around 6,000 with taxes and everything. It's around 3,500. But on this one right here, mostly what it goes through it is the mass of the speaker and the tweeter, pretty much, as you can see right there, the Atom tweeter. They design it really well that you'll be able to position it mostly any orientation that you want, and it's gonna be sounding the same pretty much. Of course, you're not gonna put it on the side of your ear and then expect that it's gonna be in front of you, no. But you gotta put it, and you also can put it in different areas on your music stand or your table. It depends where you want to put it, or on stilts. It doesn't matter how you're gonna put it. And inside of the speakers has like a DSP distortion computer inside the speakers to be able to have a more smarter way to pronounce in your studio, like how big it is and how the width and length of your studio is. So that's how it's gonna according to adapt to your room. So this is a pretty cool speaker right here. It's mostly like more like a smart speaker than anything else. And like it says right there, it has 1300 watt speaker peak, and also has a horizontal 3-way, as you see right there. Has the ART tweeter as well with a newly designed HPS. Then the older one, and has all black aluminum too as well, which can be like around like the $10,000 one, but still holds its price at $3,000. And custom built LELE baseline and 1300 max of power, like I said earlier, response of 30 to 50 kilohertz, and a max peak of 126 dB. It's actually a lot more than the one that costs almost $9,000, the ATC, but it's also of the actual drivers. If you want a driver that is really good and unique, the ATC is actually much more better. But for a German brand, this one's one of the best that I know. And right now we're gonna finish and see the video. So if you found this video helpful, please subscribe and press the bell button and comment below. And until next one, bye.
I'm Mitch Gallagher. Welcome to the Sweetwater Minute. This time out, we're taking a look at the S-Series monitors from ADAM Audio, which is the flagship range of speakers from that company. Let's get started. The S-Series monitors sit at the top of the line for ADAM Audio. They're great sounding speakers that offer a lot of versatility, and they incorporate all the technologies and features that the company has come up with in its nearly 20-year history. There's a full range of S-Series monitors available. Today we have 3 examples to show you. On my left, we have the S2V, we have the S3H, and the S3V. Now the difference between the V and the H monitors is vertical and horizontal orientation. That's really the only difference between them. The S-Series monitors have been completely redesigned by ADAM. We have new woofers, new mid-range drivers, new cabinet designs, and also a new DSP engine. This is a lot of technology that's brought to bear to provide the maximum in detailed, accurate audio quality. Let's take a tour. The new woofers in the S-Series monitors are designed for maximum excursion and maximum linearity. The ELE technology used in these monitors, or extended linear excursion technology, is designed to maximize the distance that the speaker can travel and also the efficiency with which it does that, and it also includes optimized damping, so the response to low frequencies is extremely accurate. The ELE technology used in the woofers, along with ADAM's SMA or symmetrical magnet assembly, provide for that higher excursion. Now this moves a greater volume of air and ensures that you're getting the maximum output level from those woofers. The woofers also feature a new low-mass, highly rigid honeycomb driver cone, a highly efficient self-cooling linear magnet assembly, a low-loss speaker surround, linear suspension and damping systems, a vented symmetrical voice coil, and a new driver chassis and basket. What all this means is that the woofer has less cone breakup, it's more linear in its response, and it's more efficient. Combining that with the new venting porting system on the front, and you have great low-frequency response. On the top end, we have ADAM's new S-Art folded ribbon tweeter. ART, or accelerated ribbon technology, is ADAM's approach to creating ribbon designs. It puts pleats or folds into the ribbon material. According to ADAM, putting these pleats and folds into the ribbon material gives us a great deal more area to work with. So as they're pushing and pulling the air in and out of that tweeter, we get up to 4 times the output of a standard dome tweeter. The S-Art tweeters are manufactured to even higher tolerances than earlier iterations of the ART tweeters, and they're combined with a solid aluminum milled waveguide that really helps with the dispersion, getting a sound out evenly across the entire room. For the 3-way members of the S-Series, we have ADAM's new 4-inch or 100mm mid-range driver. Now this is actually a hybrid design that combines characteristics from both cone and dome drivers. It has higher power handling, greater dispersion, and even flatter response than previous mid-range drivers. The S-Series incorporates a brand new DSP module. Now this is oriented toward maximizing and optimizing the response at crossover points, so they're very linear across those crossover points. It also allows you to set up user or to access factory setups as far as room tuning and voicing the monitors. Even the cabinets have been redesigned. From the ports to the aesthetics to the finish, the cabinets have been optimized again for acoustic response as well as to look great in your studio. Let's take a quick tour of the 3 monitors that are in front of me. Beginning on my left, we have the S2V. Now this features a 7-inch woofer, a 2-way design, and has a total of 350 watts of power. It has frequency response from 35 Hz all the way up to 50 kHz. One of the amazing things about all the S-Series ADAM monitors is the amplifiers that are inside. The amplifiers actually will reach up to a maximum of 1 megahertz in frequency. They use filtering to drop that down to about 300 megahertz, and that provides great extension and linearity all the way to the 50 kilohertz top end on the speakers themselves. On my right, we have the S3V, a vertical orientation of the S3 monitor. It's a 3-way design with a 9-inch woofer, a 4-inch hybrid mid-range driver, and an S-Art tweeter. We have a total of 850 watts power inside this monitor, and we have frequency response from 32 Hz to 50 kHz. In the center in front of me, we have the S3H, which is a horizontal orientation, and it's a 3-way design with dual woofers. Those woofers are 7 inches in diameter. We have the hybrid 4-inch mid-range driver, and of course the S-Art tweeter on top. We have a total of 1,350 watts and frequency response from 30 Hz to 50 kHz. If you're looking for maximum output level, great dispersion, and a ton of bottom-end response, the S3H is the monitor you're going to want to check out. The back panel of the S-Series monitors is identical across all the different members of the family. Let's take a quick tour. We have a digital menu here at top for controlling the DSP technology, and we'll come back to that in just 1 second. We We have analog input on XLR connection, and we have AES input and output also on XLRs. The output allows you to daisy chain speakers together for very easy connection in the studio, whether you're working in stereo or in surround. The S-Series monitors feature very advanced DSP technology, which is accessed using this screen and a rotary encoder here. The DSP technology is used to optimize the crossover frequencies for linear response. It also provides EQ and room tuning, limiting to protect the tweeter, and much more as well. Let's take a look at some of the things you can do from right here inside the speaker. To access the DSP, we simply press the rotary encoder. Our first menu is Settings. If we press again, we'll come to our input type. We press and can select AES right, AES left, or analog, and pressing yet again will save that setting in the speaker. To move to volume, we'll go back to Settings, press, scroll down to Volume, press, and now we can set the volume up or down to calibrate it to match the rest of our system. Again, when we're happy, we press to save that setting, press and hold to return to Settings, and then by pressing again, we can move down to delay times or to factory reset. The S-Series DSP also provides us with 5 different presets where we can store room tuning and EQ settings or voicings for the monitor. 2 of those are preset and 3 of those are available for users. We have a low shelf EQ, a high shelf EQ, and a 6-band parametric EQ that you can use for shaping the response of the speakers and matching it to your room. Again, all those settings can be stored into 5 different presets. Our first preset is called Pure, and it's factory optimized for linear frequency response from top to bottom with the monitor. Our second preset is UNR, or Uniform Natural Response. Now again, this is a factory preset that can't be modified, but it provides a nice tonal shaping that'll work well in a lot of different rooms. Finally, we have 3 user presets in most of the S-Series speakers. There is one more factory preset in the S3H, and that emulates the original S3A monitor from Adam. Rounding out the back panel, we have a network options slot, as well as a USB port. Now currently the USB port is used for software updates, and you could also use that for remote controlling some of the DSP features as well. And in the future, it'll be used for additional features. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the S-Series monitors from Adam Audio. There are other members in the family as well that you'll want to check out at sweetwater.com, but just among the 3 here, you have 3 amazing options. You'll want to give these a listen. They sound absolutely incredible. Thanks for joining me for the Sweetwater Minute. I'm Mitch Gallagher.